Forex is trading after Christmas and New Year's Eve. We have 3rd January. It is 24 minutes after 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's take a look at our live charts. And S&P contracts seem to not have too much movement, even though the prices moved higher. I mean, recent move from the Monday movement moved this price chart to the new high levels. Right now we are in this point where we are still in the break. I mean, today looks like we are having some holidays in Germany and whole Eurozone. So I'm not predicting any particular movement. I mean, strong fundamental movement at currencies, but it might be different in the S&P contracts and other US indices. And I hope we'll see next few days in the beginning of January if this growing wave will accelerate, if those buyers will come into the market strongly, or the market will stop at some point, or go in this pace that was moving during the Christmas and just before Christmas time. I mean those small and medium candles. Right now the move is getting some acceleration. So if we see more of that, we might say we are still in the strong up movement. But right now I'm not sure about it. Let's wait a few days to see what's gonna happen. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, this situation will be more clear. Right now we are staying in uptrend and it's not very strong in the recent couple of weeks, but it's still hanging at those levels, so it's moving up and up. So let's keep it like that. Let's take a look at currencies. Right now we are looking at 4-hour euro dollar and pound dollar chart, and we see the correlation of the movement. I mean, the prices moved back from some level after shooting up. They just started to drop. Of course, I'm saying from the last few days or a couple of weeks, I'm saying the demand at euro dollar is different than at pound. We got a strong demand at some points at euro dollar currency. It is different than the pound dollar, where we have a downtrend and it's moving fast in some moments. So it's driving euro dollar to the lower levels. But you see here, for example, we got stronger movement that at euro dollar. So it's still staying like the medium and big trend at pound is downtrend, and euro dollar is trying to keep it some kind of uptrend or move to higher levels. That's how it works. So if you are interested in a more analysis how it really looks like for last couple of weeks perspective, please see more daily analysis to see what I was really telling about those waves down and those waves up on those currencies, which are very much correlated. That's why I'm saying how do they move in the same time, sometimes differently moving. So we see here, for example, this part of the chart looks similar to this flag when the price was moving higher, just to move back to the same levels. The strong buyers coming in and strong sellers coming into the market, and again after the breakout we see some bigger trend came in. But here, for example, we got strong demand at some point, then we got sellers coming in at the market, and so on and so on. So we are waiting, I'm waiting for some bigger moment when the trend will show us that we are moving higher and higher, like here, or we are breaking down to the downside and accelerate like it happened before from this flag. So right now the pound is in the situation where we can go in an uptrend for some time, quite a time, or we can accelerate to the downside and break this support resistance of 33.48, and the downtrend at pound wouldn't be really satisfying those buyers. I mean, the uptrend at euro dollar could be broken to the downside as well, like it happened before when the pound was dropping down. So I'm saying if you are interested at euro dollar like I am, the best situation for to grow the euro is when the pound is moving in range, I mean the sideway, or moving higher and higher. This situation right here, when we see a couple of recent candles moved back to lower levels, bring the euro dollar to lower levels as well. Or the situation from before when we see this big shadow, they are very much correlated, so they might be moving down, and then when the pound is moving back to lower levels, even though the trend at the euro dollar seem to like the uptrend movement. So I'm not saying much about the trend at this currency because it is more visible at this chart, like a big, very big consolidation, some kind of sideways movement. That's how I see it. But in those moments of acceleration to the upside, I see some demand. I see some chance to euro dollar go to the higher levels. If not, maybe it will follow to the downside with the pound. But this comfortable zone right here, this dome I was telling about for the last few days, and this comfort area tells us the price shouldn't be here at this point in next day or a couple of days, because this zone was uncomfortable for the price action. I mean, the price moved higher, so why should it coming back to this zone if it's just get away from it? So differently saying, if there would be a lot of sellers here at this point, the price would be continued from this point somewhere to the downside. So we would see more and more sellers coming in at the market, and the market doesn't really react this way. You see, we got buyers coming in here and some moments over there recently. So we got some not too strong buyers coming in and no important sellers at this currency euro dollar market, because if we had some sellers at this medium size downtrend, the price would move back to the downside really fast, and accelerated breakout to the downside fast. That's what I mean. So conclusion is euro dollar most likely like the upside, and the pound still ranging or like the downside from before. The biggest movement was to the downside, so be careful if you come to the market as the buyer at this currency pair. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope to see some interesting action at Tuesday, Wednesday in the first couple of weeks of January. We'll see if those stocks will continue to grow in January, and if this demand will not collapse in the end of January or beginning of February. We'll see if it's really fundamental, or it is just continuation from December, a Christmas rush when the stocks are rising higher and higher. We'll see how the fundamental players will act at the market, and technical analysis will hopefully show us what is happening for next couple of weeks, next few months. Thank you very much for listening. Hope you have a great New Year's week. Thank you very much.